get another one, and we ended up with 3 female cats. Those 3 female cats over the course of about 6 to 8 years spawned about 30 inbred hoarded animals. We had so many cats that they were actually dying of overpopulation. I think when I hit around 12, we had about 50 of them running around. I remember waking up to my mom panicked because all of the cats simultaneously died except for my parents' favorites that they coveted inside. There weren't any wounds, so we surmised poisoning being a cause. Before and after the poisoning incident, the entire property always smelled of death, like rotting carcasses constantly. I would always see vultures flying overhead, but whenever I would try to find the body there was nothing there. Aside from my story, my best friend actually had a similar experience in my area, where everywhere smelled of death constantly. She definitely wasn't a neighbor though, but I digress. People were also known to spontaneously just have heart attacks, or commit suicide there. My father grew up there and ended up telling me that he had multiple neighbors die of heart attacks before I was born. Some more dramatic than others. This stuff definitely seems to have been going on for a long time. The last day I actually lived there, somebody committed suicide up the road from us actually. I remember the vultures encircled the house even though I was sure her body had already been taken. An anon requested for the deer story, so I will oblige. I was a preteen, and my parents were letting me hang out in my yard at night for the first time in a long time, so I really liked staying out /extra/late. I was on the phone with pre-mentioned best friend. We were hanging out and talking for about an hour, when I saw across the road in my neighbor's yard there was an albino deer. It was a buck with antlers. It looked somewhat emaciated and its eyes, I remember, were a bit larger than the average deer. I described that to my friend, and she started flipping out and telling me to leave. I thought I was hallucinating and squinted to see it. Then the deer stood up on its hind legs like a person, with its front hooves at its side, just staring at me. For some fucking ungodly reason I still refused to leave and wanted to get a better look at it, until I got frustrated about how I couldn't see it too well and went inside to grab my glasses. When I went back outside, the deer was gone. I'm going to attach a really shitty drawing I did of the deer. I feel like some visuals may be appreciated. Thank you. The noises in the woods is a similar story to the deer one. I was out really late at night in the middle of the summer, in a phone call with my best friend. We were talking about stuff when I started to hear screams from deep within the woods. Now in my area we have mountain lions, and foxes. Those both make some pretty weird ass noises, but I knew their calls well and I was able to tell the calls were human. It was really deep into the woods/mountains. They weren't screaming for help, just like gutturally shouting every night for a few days. This might be my last post tonight. I'm not too sure, getting sleepy. It was the middle of summer during this story, and every summer without fail the smell of dead animal would be way worse than the rest of the year. It was to the point where I could barely stand to be outside even though I really liked the fireflies. I was, as per usual, staying out in my yard at 1 to 3 a.m. We have coyote packs roaming around making noises, but I would never see them. The cats were repopulating with kittens. Many of my parents would just throw outside. Of course I didn't want to find more kitten carcasses than usual. Stay in calls with friends usually to calm my nerves because I'm an anxious wreck. This weird thing kept happening when I was in a call with my BF, where all of the bugs would go fully silent. No noises, no anything. All simultaneously. Neither of us knew what this meant at the time, and I would just keep hanging out in my yard until one night when I was alone, and not in a call, I saw a coyote. Just one. Worth mentioning that there was only one street light by my house, and my house only when it was an area big enough to fit 5 to 6 other houses. Something off put me about it, and I just got really afraid and went inside and locked the doors. Years later my BF picked up an interest in supernatural BS and started prodding at me for details about this, and I remembered I didn't see a tail on that thing. I sort of figured that none would care about childhood trauma kind of stuff that coincided with the paranormal BS. I might go more in depth later if I feel comfortable though. This was the last time we would hear from her. Thank you for listening to the end. I have a cabin in buttfuck nowhere, Colorado I decided to go up to for a couple of weeks. No internet, a single landline phone, state of the art for the 1980s. On Wednesday, April 10th, Colorado had a blizzard. It wasn't too bad in cities, but where I was it was horrible. That's all the background you need to know. Be sitting in my cabin stoking the fire during buttfuck blizzard. Hanging out and watching some DVDs on a CRT. Older than Father Time himself since I can't go outside. Constant howling of the wind. Turn up volume. Eventually get up to piss, so I pause movie. Wind is no longer howling. Didn't notice since TV was blasting. Find it strange since it's been doing it for 4 hours now. Thank fuck it's over. Take a few steps until I hear it. Click. Look around. Literally have never heard this clicking noise, and I've been up there for 5 months now. Click. Realize it's coming from outside. A branch probably snapped and hit my cabin and is rocking back and forth or some shit. Fuck me, I'm not going outside, I can deal with the noise. Standing in bathroom. Begin to piss. Click. Annoyed. Finish up. Walk outside bathroom. Click. Realize there's no consistency to the clicking sound. Can't even expect it. Happens whenever. Sit back down and continue to watch movie. Turn volume down since the wind isn't howling. Clicking speeds up, multiple times a minute. Fuck it, I'll go take a nap or something on the other side of the cabin so I can't hear it. Walk into bedroom, clicking begins. My bedroom is like 50 feet from where the TV is, but the click is just as loud. Like it's fucking following me. Try to ignore it and go to sleep. The inconsistency of the clicking breaks me. Throw on snow gear, time to fuck up this branch for making me go outside. Walk to door and brace myself. Open it swiftly and feel old man winter fuck me up the ass. Quickly walk out and shut the door. Walk around cabin in blinding snow looking for a branch like an idiot. Make multiple laps and can't find the asshole. Assume it finally got loose and flew away. Go back inside. No clicking. Feels good, man. JPG. Go to take that nap in peace. Fall into a deep slumber. Wake up at about 2 p.m. Click, 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 click. Start to feel uneasy. Don't give it a second thought and I throw on snow gear. Go outside. No branches. No howling. No nothing. Go back inside and go from mad to upset because I can't figure out what the fuck the sound is. Click, 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 click. Walk to different rooms to try and escape it. Click, 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 click. How the fuck is it following me throughout the cabin? Moment of realization. It's not coming from the sides of the cabin. It's coming from the roof. All rational thought has gone out the window from the sound of this fucking clicking. Snow gear and walk outside. Storm has calmed for now, but it's still foggy. I can only see like 20 feet ahead of you. Walk around back and grab my ladder. Prop that shit up. This ends now. Begin to climb up ladder and stop. I could only hear the clicking inside. Even over the howl of the wind. Deefkin 2/X/ warned me about this. Climb up high enough to be able to see the top of the roof. At the top I see a pale figure. Heart stops. Deefkin 1. The figure is hunched over. It's sickly thin and I can see its spine. It's angled where it can't see me, but I can see it. See it moving slightly. Look slightly down and see it has, on hand, a fingernail that's probably 6 inches long. Literally just tapping the roof. It stops. It slowly turns its head to me. Black eyes and small facial features besides that, almost like a crude drawing of a fucking alien. Begins to stand up. By the way, if's true, your life does flash before your eyes when you think you're about to die. It stands up staring at me. Probably 5 feet tall, give or take. Walks to edge of roof of cabin, never taking its eyes off me. Hops down on the ground. I can see it land and it slowly backs away into the fog towards the trees. Never stops locking eyes with me. Petrified. Probably didn't move for 5 minutes, or at least felt like it, in the blistering cold gripping a ladder. Snap out of it. Climb down ladder carefully, don't even bother to take it down. Realize I'm in shock. Calmly walk around cabin and go inside. Walk around house and turn off lights and put out fire. Grab keys and walk out. Don't bother grabbing anything else besides my wallet next to my keys. Storm has picked back up, but I literally am in some kind of trance I don't even notice. Close door and don't bother locking it. Slowly walk to car, open the door, get in, start it, and swing around. Still in shock, I drive for hours until I reach a motel. Shock is wearing off and I can feel myself ready to fucking go crazy. Quickly get a room and now I start feeling adrenaline and rush up to my room. Open it and close it and start freaking the fuck out over what I saw. For a few hours I was freaking out in the hotel room, calmed down, and slept for about 16 hours. I drove back up to the cabin, fucking bolted inside and grabbed my phone, ran out and locked the door, and got in the truck and sped off. After reading all the stories on /X/ I was more surprised than anything that I didn't immediately flip out, but just went into shock for hours. I got home a few hours ago after driving for a while and stopping multiple times to breathe and not flip out. Again, I think one thing people forget to mention is that fear comes in waves. I'd be driving and be totally okay, then suddenly it would hit me and I'd have to pull over and just sit in my car while I calmed the fuck down and didn't drive like a